Hi, it's KCCK's Culture Crawl. I'm Dennis Green, and my guests today are the entire Swiss Family Bostian, Red Cedar Chamber Music, Miera Kim and Carey Bostian, and their sons, Adrian and Oliver, from their home in Iowa City. Welcome to all of you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Is it a pleasure to be here, boys?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Correct answer.
I would make some comment about, having to be up early in the morning and to do this stuff, but I know that you are busy online and in person at school, both of you, all the time. So this is not at all unusual for either of you. So, and while I'm there for just a second, let's talk about that. Before we dive into the concert. So, Adrian, I'll start with you. I know that in Iowa City, you have, you've been a hybrid and you've been online. So how's it going?
It's going pretty well. So the main hybrid activity that I'm doing right now is basketball. And so that's the biggest risk that our family's taking.
And that just started on Saturday.
Yeah. So we're not sure. We'll have to figure out how I'm gonna stay away from the family, or what we're gonna do. But yeah, online school has definitely given us a lot of time to work together on the music that we're doing. So yeah.
Plenty of time.
Yeah.
And Adrian, remind me what grade you're in.
I'm a 10th grader.
Okay, and it's City, correct? Okay. And Oliver, what year are you in school?
I'm a senior.
A senior, okay. And of course, as a short timer, of course, school not ending like you had, what do you think of the news that there won't be any more snow days in Iowa City?
I'm pretty okay with that, I would say. I like doing school from home, honestly.
Yeah, but someday you will tell your own children that when you were little, you got a day off when it snowed, and they will look at you and go, "That's insane."
It's
Why?
true. We were just talking this morning about even when we were in school, Carey and I, there was no retaking tests and turning in homework weeks late and all of that. But apparently that's the norm now.
So this summer, you did several concerts as the Swiss Family Bostian when we were all quarantined, and you did some online concerts. Then since then, as the regular Red Cedar ensemble, you've been doing your regular program, 25th anniversary season that we talked about a few weeks ago. And now you're going to do an online concert again, just with the four of you. So, Miera, why don't you start? Tell me about Holidays with Wolfgang.
Yeah, sure. Well, we're looking forward to doing something over the holidays, and it's a slightly holiday themed program. And the Wolfgang refers to Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. And
yeah, I've heard of him.
yeah, you've heard of him. So we're the big, showstopper of this concert is the entire Mozart piano quartet in G minor. But before that, we're opening with a violin duet by Michael Kimber. So Oliver and I will play that together. And the fun thing about it is he actually wrote it under the alias Wolfgang Amadeus Kimber.
Yeah.
We have to keep aliases.
There's also a Ludwig Wolfgang.
Yeah, but so he was inspired by Mozart way back in 1964 when he was 19 years old.
19 years old.
And the fun thing is it's a delightful piece in 3 movements, but it's receiving its world premiere by us on this concert.
Really? So he wrote it all those years ago and never published it or had it performed.
Exactly. And so, probably didn't ever assume it would be, but he happened to, throw it our direction and say, oh, here's this thing I wrote in 1964. And we read it and we loved it. So we're programming it.
He has been your composer in residence for a long time. What's the difference between 19-year-old Wolfgang Amadeus Kimber and the Michael Kimber of today?
The duet, I feel like it's pretty spicy. I mean, it's very, very much in the style of Mozart, and phrase structure and the idiomatic writing for the strings. very, very much like Mozart, except it's just a little spicy. It's got just a little bit of
A few harmonic surprises.
more modern language, but it's fun. Of course, in our association with him, I've been performing his music since he moved here in 2004, and I have seen him write in so many different styles. I would say that as an older composer, um, that he's even more flexible. So if he were to write this duet now, he might make it almost perfectly Mozart instead of a little spicy. But he's just a master of all styles, and I mean, we're so thrilled to have a composer in residence. I mean, first of all, to be continuing to make music is great, to be working, um, but to have a composer in residence that can fix something up for us and help us arrange something, who has so much music in the drawer maybe that hasn't been premiered. It's been an incredible thing for us to have the association with Michael during this time. It's been essential, in fact.
The other piece you mentioned, and I missed the title, but it was, it's a seminal Mozart work. So, let's see, Adrian, I'll start with you. Tell me a little bit about your reaction to practicing and performing that piece.
Yeah, so originally, okay, you're gonna have to remind me what the name of the program was where we just played the first movement.
Right, what was that?
All in the Family.
Yeah, All in
And
the Family.
That was the second online concert that we did, or concert series. But yeah, I don't know when they told me exactly. It was a few months ago, and my initial reaction was not the happiest I've been because
Mozart again?
yeah, it was very difficult learning that first movement, but I realized that after I'd had that performance experience the first time, and the first movement actually being the most challenging one, uh, it wasn't that much of an issue. Yeah, I think we're gonna make a great performance, and it wasn't too much of a burden on me.
He's been working on it for several months, really, and with his teacher Laurie Chrisman from the Prusel School, and he's really grown. It's really come together beautifully for us.
And Adrian, you double cello and piano. Will you be playing piano on this one, or?
Yeah, I will be playing the piano part on the Mozart.
And then cello on the Corelli, the middle piece that we didn't mention yet. But
Oliver, same question. This is a pretty big piece that you've had some exposure to. How did you come to it?
I would say it hasn't been too much of a stressor for me. The first movement of the Mozart is probably the hardest for my part, at least, the viola part. And so to already feel like I've learned that and performed that, like the rest of it is not that big of a deal.
Oliver, as you double on viola and violin. So as someone who, doesn't play a stringed instrument, tell me about the differences. They look very similar, but what are the differences in style and technique that you have to do going between the two instruments?
Honestly, I feel like they're very similar as well. But some of the differences, I guess, the way
the viola's bigger.
the viola is bigger, right?
Yes.
But
Well,
I guess
Bigger and heavier, you tire out quicker.
it at the beginning, it was very like tiring because of the change in position, I would say, of like
because it's farther
yeah,
out
it's further
and
out
heavier.
and yeah, all of that. But I've gotten to a point where I'm very used to that, and then also the spacing of the fingers is just a teeny bit different, but it's so similar that you can almost think of it as the same thing, which throws you off then because it's also a little bit different, if that makes sense.
Sure.
So
Sure. Going from cello to piano and having to do an entirely different set of muscle memory in a way might be a little easier.
Yeah.
The program is Holidays with Wolfgang. It'll be an online show debuting after the holiday, which I think is wise because if my culture crawls are any indication, we have a plethora of shows, all of them great to
Yeah.
watch in between now and Christmas, but not quite so much after Christmas.
So we were thinking it would be a good time, and not having any idea what it would be like when we scheduled it. But mostly for us, it was about the boys' schedule and trying to schedule them into our season and make them, let them be useful and capture this, the opportunity of all this work that we did in the spring and summer, but really trying not to tax their schoolwork. So we wanted them to both have a nice winter break and to get our work out of them. So we scheduled it that way, and really we're thrilled with the timing as it's working out.
Yeah, and this time around, we'll just be presenting 2 live stream concerts. Normally we do 4, and they'll be Sunday, December 27th at 3 p.m. and Monday, December 28th at 7 p.m. And those can be found at our website, www.redcedar.org. Easy clickable links, downloadable programs. And of course, if you miss them, they are always available on demand afterwards, free on demand. You can watch live or you can watch later.
Unless we're really terrible.
Yeah, then we delete it. No. Actually, we have had to delete 1 or 2 just because of some big technical difficulties in the past year, but not because of our playing.
Well, and that is, I do think that is a unique and a good way to put these out there too, and that instead of, not that there's anything wrong with doing a canned performance and getting it exactly right and editing it up and things like that, but these are live as they happen. I mean, the show on December 27th will be done live, and the show on December 28th will also be done live, so they'll things might go a little differently.
Yep.
Every performance is different, and even though it's not the same in terms of the energy you get from an audience in the same space with you, you still, get a little adrenaline rush for performance. Do you, Ollie?
Yeah.
So it adds a little something, and we just received a $25,000 grant from the Arts Midwest U.S. Regional Arts Resilience Fund. We're really honored, one of 9 small to medium-sized organizations in Iowa. And so we'll be able to purchase all of our own technological recording video equipment now. We've had very generous friends who have lent us the equipment up until this point. So we're looking forward to having ownership of all of that as well,
Yeah.
moving ahead, because even after, the pandemic's quote unquote over, we will continue to produce live stream events for those that, find it not accessible to go places in public, or that even live in other states or countries.
I think that's the piece of this that we're all going to take away from this pandemic year, is that while we're anxious to get back to live and in-person shows, the live stream and the flexibility and the extra reach that gives us, I suspect that's going to be a part of everyone's repertoire, or a lot of people's repertoire moving forward.
It actually brings the world together and makes it smaller in a good way, because everyone's equally accessible in a sense, in terms of having, well, you know how it is on Zoom, bringing in a guest speaker or whatever. They don't necessarily have to live in the area anymore. They could be anywhere. So
It's Holidays with Wolfgang, streaming live December 27th or the 28th. So if you're looking for something to do over the post-holiday weekend, they'll be there for you live, or you can watch them later as well on the Red Cedar YouTube channel. And again, the website for those who want to tune in live or make a note to watch them later is
www.redcedar.org.
Miera, Adrian, Oliver, Carey, thank you for being here. I hope you all have a great holiday, and looking forward to some great music over the break.
you too.
Thanks so
Thank
much,
you,
Dennis.
Dennis.
Thanks.
You can hear the Culture Crawl live on the radio weekdays at 10:20, or download the podcast, watch or listen on your own schedule at kcck.org/culture, or using your favorite podcast app. I'm Dennis Green, and I'll talk to you later.